Once upon a time, in the Edo period of Japan, there was a poor fishing village near the seaside, and there was a small grave stands in the slightly elevated hill of the fishing village. It was standing, turning towards the sea. This was a grave of a whale. Can you guess? Why would the grave of the whale be built? This small fishing village is attached with the mountain. There is hardly the level ground that was suitable for cultivation. People of the village are taking a fish nearby the sea and live somehow. This is a talk of the autumn season. In this year, the village took a big damage because of typhoon came over many times. And above, severe winter is on the way to come to the people's life in the villages. Parents with child of the fisherman were chatting on the side of the hearth called irori. There is no firewood to burn in the irori. There is not all for lightning too. The room is chilly and dark. You know, typhoon really hunt down our lives. Poor chatting and starve may continue. Let's try to do hard work this winter as well. Well, Yokichi, let's go for the fishing today too. Oh, yes, Papa, I got it. Yokichi and father left for fishing. It was not going to be so far from the bank. They found a well nearby. The well is different from other fishes, and it would be a big catch. It is full of meat and oil. For poor villagers, it seems a blessing from the heaven. You know, Yokichi, it is so good if that well can catch. The well is coming and going in the gulf of the village. It seemed eating a small fishes around. It sometimes blows up the tide. It is a whale! A whale! Yokichi shouted. The people of the village gathered to watch a whale from the bank. The fisherman decided immediately. Let's cooperate in all and kill that whale. The fishermen of the village started to ship by the general mobilization and surrounded the entrance of the small gulf by the sea. They set a net into the direction of the drop by using the sudden fishing net before the well. Once a whale plunged into the net, several harpoons were dropped. The whale gets entangled in a net, and it cannot escape. The sea died with the red hot blood of the whale. The fishermen of the village fight desperately to kill. Yokichi adds a kitchen knife to a mouth and jump into the sea. And again he crawled up to the back of the whale along the rope, which stuck to a harpoon. He gave the decisive blow with the kitchen knife. The fishermen bring the whale on the bank of the sea and take into the pieces after catching. It was approximately 5 meters in size, not to mention meat, skin, and internal organs, as well as a bone too are completely used. They shared it with all the villages of women and children. The villages were able to survive in the cold New Year holidays without anybody starving to death in. The villagers thanked for a well and prepared the tomb of the small well on the foothill. A grave is built on the place to be able to look around the sea. Yokichi also prayed at the grave with all the feelings of thanks too. However, the villagers were able to spend New Year holidays somehow. There was again starving continued. The cold wintry wind ranges and severe cold days of the winter continues. On such one day, voices of a certain villager heard, "Hey man! Hey man! A big whale is riding on the beach!" Hearing the voice, Yokichi rushed hastily too. It was a huge whale of about 3 times bigger in the size than the previous one. It was on the foot of the hill near the town. Yokichi, who rushed hastily to see it, drew near to the eyes of the well. The well stares at the grave on the hill continuously. Glitter was seen on the eyes. "Oh, indeed! You are that of the previous?" Yokichi said. There is no other way for poor villagers to live, so even this time they killed a whale for eating. The villager placed a coffee grass in a well and divided it with all the villages. The villagers were thankful to the huge whale which ran into the village. They were able to ride out cold winter of this year too. "You know, Yokichi, it is the thanks of that whale. Now the stomach is full and the room is lightened up. It's so great," Yokichi's father said. The season changes. The spring with the bloomed cherry tree came over in the poor village. The fish have begun to be produced a little too. This puts vigor to the villagers. The villagers built a big tomb on the side of the small one. It is to thank for the big whale who saved the life of the village. It is to pray for security and a big catch of the fishing. The villages were kept alive by 2 holy lives. In the village, the Buddhist memorial service of the whale came to be performed every year. "Papa, the morning sun rises up." "Oh, yes, we can catch big fish with its splashing. Let's do our best today, too." The happy ending.